All right, let's talk about making friends as an adult. So all of my life, I've moved around different parts of the world. I've lived in the continent of Africa, I've lived in Europe, and I currently live in the United States. I'm used to changing my environment and adapting and learning how to connect with the people of the area. And I would say that I was very fortunate as a kid to be able to live and travel around the world even at a very young age. Although, of course, in theory sounds like fun, as a kid, changing your environment can be very challenging at first because you're like trying to understand your new environment, the people. Even moving from one state in the US to another is also a culture shock, because in the United States, every region has its own culture, accent, way of doing things, and even slangs. So I've had to learn how to make friends along the way. I'll say the easiest way, of course, for making friends is in school. Because you're in the same environment, you're going through the same challenges, and it's easy for you to connect with people because of that similar environment. But how do you make friends after college or after school? This is the toughest challenge, and no one prepared me for the difficulties of making friends as an adult. So I'll say that my adult years, my true adult years started when I graduated from college, and immediately I changed my environment again and moved to another continent. I moved to another country, which was Spain, and when I moved there, I knew nobody, and I had to start from scratch again in terms of my social circle. I stayed in Spain for 2 years before I moved back home to the United States, and I moved to Louisiana, where my family lives. And that was also a culture shock for me, because all my life in the United States, I grew up in the Midwest in Ohio. I had friends, already established friends from high school and college, and so going to Louisiana was also a challenge as well for me, readjusting to the culture of the South and making new friends. So, and then after staying in Louisiana for 2 years, I moved to New York. So with all my moves as an adult, which is what I'm going to specify on because I think adult friendships are the hardest to make, I will give you tips of how I've learned how to meet new people along the way in this journey. Big cities like New York or Madrid, which I lived in Spain, where I lived in Spain, it can be hard to make friends. Like in these big cities, you meet a lot of people, but although there are a lot of people in these big cities, it still can get lonely because everyone is hustling and working. They don't have time for just relaxing all the time. So especially New York, is a very transient city where people come and go. So people, if they lose their jobs, they leave the city. If people get married, they leave the city. There's a lot of ebbs and flow of people in New York City. So I'll say like the first place to start when you move to a new city could be your workplace. So if you move for a job, this is the first place that you really interact with people or meet people on a consistent basis. A lot of people make friends from their workplace. Some people even find their partners from a workplace. My best friend found her now fiance from her workplace. Because that's the place you spend most time in, and so the workplace is a great place to start when looking for friends. Another place to find new friends could be place of worship. If you are a religious person, going to the mosque or going to a church or synagogue or wherever is your religious place of worship is a great place to make new friends. I remember growing up as a child, that was where my mom will make new friends. So for example, we used to live in Calgary at one point, Calgary in Canada, and of all the places I went to around the world with my family, I remember my dad would be posted to different countries for his job. we made friends with many of the women there, because my mom, she had like my siblings and I, so she would make friends with the moms, and the moms would invite her over for tea or dinner, and we that's how we were able to make friends, and we'll do swimming lessons together. My favorite memory was really doing swimming lessons in Calgary, and I made tons of friends there. And at that time it was funny because we didn't have the internet. That was probably the early 2000s, and I would write letters to them or like, you know, Yahoo Mail or something. We didn't have social media, and so that was how we made friends. But unfortunately I haven't kept in touch with these people. So I'll say places of worships are a great place to make friends, especially if you are a parent or adult or young professional. Yeah, and if you're religious as well. Activities of interest, so if you like playing tennis, if you like swimming, if you like playing soccer or football, or you like playing baseball, whatever sports it is, or maybe you enjoy languages or having meetups where you can practice a language, those are great places to make friends. I have used websites like meetup.com. Meetup.com is actually a hit or miss. I don't always find the most quality group of people there, but sometimes I do. So it really depends, because, you know, I don't know, it's just my experience. And I also suggest Airbnb experiences, which actually I had a great time doing. Last year in December I signed up for a cooking class. If you know me, I enjoy trying new dishes and making new dishes as well, so I learned how to make pasta through Airbnb experiences. And no, Airbnb did not sponsor me to say this. And it was so much fun. Check out my video up here to see my experience making that pasta through Airbnb experiences. So if you go to a new city or move to a new city, or even if you're a tourist, you can definitely check Airbnb experiences to try fun activities and make friends. And of course I did make friends from those Airbnb experiences, and I'm in touch with these people on social media. Neighborhood events. If you live in New York, you will know that everyone in New York is super proud of their neighborhood. I have people always saying, in my neighborhood, in my neighborhood, in my neighborhood, be it in my neighborhood Brooklyn, in my neighborhood Washington Heights, in my neighborhood Upper East Side, in my neighborhood Astoria, whatever it may be. People have neighborhood pride in New York, and so because of that neighborhood pride, there's always activities going on in each neighborhood. That, for example, if you live in Brooklyn, there is no need to go to Queens or whatever neighborhood in Queens, because your neighborhood is already filled with so many activities that you just kind of stick to that. So neighborhood events are a perfect place to meet new people, and I've been trying to take advantage of that as well. Volunteer. So of course, always a good idea to volunteer your time helping people that need. So volunteer activities are also a way to meet altruistic people like yourself, or, you know, if you're also getting into the habit of giving and helping others, you can also make new friends from volunteer activities. Social media. Social media is a double-edged sword as a tool, but I've made tons of new friends from social media, and it's so ironic because when I was growing up as a kid, my grandmother or even my parents would say don't make friends with strangers, and now with the age of social media, most of our friends were strangers, like maybe months ago or years ago. One of my very good friend, who is like my travel buddy, like I met her through Twitter and we've connected since then. We see each other every year somehow in some location and it was from social media. So I've made tons of friends. I'm connected with people on social media, especially like because sometimes you might have interests that people in your local area might not really understand or relate, and on social media you can find your tribe, you can find your group, and I've been able to find my tribe and hence create what I do right now. I made friends through social media. Of course, do do due diligence when you are connecting with people on social media. Make sure that they are who they say they are, and of course take precautions, safety precautions when meeting up with people, because I mean, of course, safety first. Okay, this is a bonus. You can make new friends on public transportation, and this works if you are an extroverted person or maybe an introverted person that's trying to get out of your comfort zone. I haven't personally done this, but my sister has done this. On the metro train, she met some people that were dressed in vintage attire, and she thought they were really cool, and she just struck up a conversation with them, and she became very good friends with them, and through them she was able to find this jazz community in New York, and these people or dress in vintage attire. So if you're bold and brave, you can make friends on the train station or the subway or bus as well. I don't think I've ever made friends with anyone on public transportation because I'm always like, I don't want to talk to anybody. I used to strike up conversation on the plane, but these days I'm just so tired. Of course, with COVID, it's kind of weird to do that nowadays, but I don't know, you can make friends on the public transportation. That is my list of ways that you can make friends as an adult. It does take a lot of effort as well, definitely more effort than when you were younger or when you were in school, because people are like, hey, I want to be friends with you, let's be friends, it's easy. But as an adult, with like different priorities, people's priorities, people being busy, it takes more effort. You have to try and reach out to people. Of course, it should be reciprocated, because kind of like, what's the point? But always just make concerted effort to reach out to people that you connect with and you want to have them in your life. And it's all about maintaining that friendship. That is like adulthood, because people are so busy with so much things in their lives. I don't know about you, but in New York, it's very common that once you're invited into a group, people add you to WhatsApp, usually WhatsApp groups. And maybe it's just me, but when I've made friends with people and they like you and they want you to be part of their group, they just like add you to WhatsApp group. And of course, it can be good or bad, because then you get all these notifications and you're like, oh my gosh, what did I sign up for? But that is something to keep in mind, and that is one way to maintain relationship with people. Obviously, like I said, keeping in contact, showing up, and communicating with people, because, you know, although New York is a very like busy city, like I mentioned, everyone's very busy, people really do value real connections here and actually crave it. So everyone here kind of craves genuine connection, genuine relationships, and one of the ways of maintaining that is through WhatsApp groups and people just sharing ideas, sharing funny memes or whatever. So yeah, that has been my experience so far in New York. For exact resources and more tips on how to make new friends in New York or around the world, check out my exclusive membership at hijabiglobtrotter.com/exclusive member. Alright guys, that is all for now. I hope you learned something new, and go out there and make those new friends as an adult. Adulthood shouldn't stop you from connecting with people and making real life connections as well. I know this pandemic has made us kind of a little bit antisocial or forget how to socialize, but being social and connecting with people is part of humanity and a part of our human needs. So go out there and socialize. Also, let me know, did I miss something? If you have other tips on how to make friends as an adult, please let me know. I also want to take notes as well. Let me and other people know in the comment section down below. I would really appreciate it. With that being said, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Ciao, hasta luego.